I'll just mute that. Oh, to be wanted. I can just wait. Oof. Okay. Pratavaseshu goreshu, pratavaseshu goreshu, pratyaya bhuta gunavrata, pratyaya bhuta gunavrata, atyayumatavannagno, atyumatavannagno, vyupta kesho hasanrudan, vyupta kesho hasanrudan. Okay, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. He lives, so this is continuing Daksha curses Lord Shiva. He lives in filthy places like crematoriums, and his companions are the ghosts and demons. Naked like a madman, sometimes laughing and sometimes crying, he smears crematorium ashes all over his body. He does not bathe regularly, and he ornaments his body with a garland of skulls and bones. Therefore, only in name is he, Shiva, or auspicious, actually. He is the most mad and inauspicious creature. Thus, he is very dear to crazy beings in the gross mode of ignorance, and he is their leader. Purport. Those who do not regularly bathe are supposed to be in association with ghosts and crazy creatures. Lord Shiva appeared to be like that, but his name Shiva is actually fitting, for he is very kind to persons who are in the darkness of the mode of ignorance, such as unclean drunkards who do not regularly bathe. Lord Shiva is so kind that he gives shelter to such creatures and gradually elevates them to the spiritual consciousness. Although it is very difficult to raise such creatures to spiritual understanding, Lord Shiva takes charge of them, and therefore, as stated in the Vedas, Lord Shiva is all auspicious. Thus, by his association, even such fallen souls can be elevated. Sometimes it is seen that great personalities meet with fallen souls, not for any personal interest, but for the benefit of those souls. In the creation of the Lord, there are different kinds of living creatures. Some of them are in the mode of goodness, some are in the mode of passion, and some are in the mode of ignorance. Lord Vishnu takes charge of persons who are advanced Krishna-conscious Vaishnavas, and Lord Brahma takes charge of persons who are very much attached to material activities. But Lord Shiva is so kind that he takes charge of persons who are in gross ignorance and whose behavior is lower than that of the animals. Therefore, Lord Shiva is especially called auspicious. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I'll read the translation again, although it is very painful to read, because we're hearing Lord Shiva being cursed or defamed. He lives in a filthy place like crematoriums, and his companions are the ghosts and demons. Naked like a madman, sometimes laughing and sometimes crying, he smears crematorium ashes all over his body. He does not bathe regularly, and he ornaments his body with a garland of skulls and bones. Therefore, only in name is he Shiva, or auspicious. Actually, he is the most mad and inauspicious creature. Thus he is very dear to crazy beings in the mode of ignorance, and he is their leader. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshu Ummilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but by the mercy of my spiritual master, he is kindly forcing open my eyes with a torchlight of transcendental knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Namo Om Krishna Bida Krishna Prista Bhutale Shrimati Tamal Krishna Goswamin Iti Namane. So those who do not regularly bathe are supposed to be in the association of ghosts and crazy creatures. Therefore, we are advised as devotees we can bathe up to 3 times a day. Not just once, not just twice, but actually 3 times. And we notice that when we do take a bath, we come out feeling a lot more fresher and clearer in our consciousness. So that if we are not bathing regularly, and as we can see when we go on Harinam, there are those unfortunate persons who don't bathe regularly. And you can see their whole consciousness is almost bound in the mode of ignorance. You know, we need to get it like a fire hose and just hose them down and jeev jago and wake them up. But they are bound in the mode of ignorance because they're not bathing regularly. You know, maybe once a week if they're lucky. You know, we're fortunate though, or they are fortunate, that there is facility made for them to go and bathe. They can go and bathe daily if they desired, but they choose not to do so because they are in the mode of ignorance. So, you know, they are referred to as crazy people or crazy creatures. You know, we can be two-legged creatures. It's not because we are walking on our two legs. That does not make us a human being. It is our behaviour and our behaviour that determines whether we are classified as being a human being. So this bathing is very important. And even you know, sprinkling of holy water on our head. We have the Chanamrita here, which we take internally, but there's no reason why we can't also put a little bit on our head as well, just to help purify ourselves. So this bathing is a very important aspect of being a devotee. Now, there is the bathing of the water externally, and then there you could say bathing internally by chanting the Maha Mantra. So we are cleaning inside and outside, because we are in these bodies which are affected by these modes of material nature. So therefore, in order to overcome this effect, which is there constantly, we are bathing and chanting regularly in order to alleviate or minimize the effect of the modes of material nature. So those that are engaged in devotional service, they overcome the modes of material nature very easily. It's an easy thing to do when you're engaging in bhakti, because when we're engaging in bhakti, we are receiving the samsara dava, the rain of mercy coming down. We are exposing ourselves to the shower of mercy which is coming down from Srila Prabhupada. You know, simply by following these instructions, bathing, chanting, we are becoming so much cleansed. You know, Chaito Dharpana Marjanam, as Lord Chaitanya is stating, glories to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan movement, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire, the blazing fire of material existence. So this is what is actually going on. We may not perceive it initially when we come to Krishna consciousness, and we may be in such a contaminated state, as is what is being mentioned here. You know, we may just have crawled out of the crematorium and we are in drunkards and filthy, but the power of the Sankirtan movement can cleanse our hearts so that we can become great Vaishnavas. We can actually come under the control of Lord Vishnu, as was being mentioned here in the purport. Lord Vishnu will look after us, and he will guide us through, you know, his representatives. We've got the spiritual master and all the devotees there who have our interest at heart. So they can guide us, and if they see we're going a little bit off track, they can approach us in a humble state of mind and question, you know, what are you doing, Prabhu? Why are you doing this activity? And in this way they can help keep us on a reasonably straight path. You know, it can be a bit zigzag, but overall it's heading in that direction. Like the sailing of the boats, they are tacking left and right, but they're heading in the right direction. So in a similar way, we may be tacking left and right a little bit, but we are heading in this direction of the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. So we are so fortunate that we have the association of the devotees and all these books that Srila Prabhupada has given us, so that he is telling us the real position of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is all auspicious, you know, Vaishnava Shambhu. He is very easily pleased, but we also understand very easily upset as well. So we are fortunate that he is very easily pleased. You know, we are just doing very humble attempts in our devotional life, but he can bless us also, so that we can make this advancement or become freed from this mode of ignorance. Because this mode of ignorance is referred to as darkness. So that means lights out. Darkness is darkness. You cannot even see your hand in front of you. You cannot even see your own self. So this is the state of those beings, that they are not even aware of who they are and what they are doing. This is when you become like a crazy or a madman. You're not actually even really conscious of what you're doing and the harm that you're causing to others. So this is the effects of the mode of ignorance. So we can see even some devotees are under the mode of ignorance. Devotees when we say devotees, we're talking a very broad category of personalities. So some of the devotees are under the mode of ignorance, and they may even approach us like a madman in anger and start saying crazy things to us. I had this just the other day. I had a devotee approach me and saying all sorts of crazy things to me, and threatening to cause me harm. He was in an angry mood, and he was yelling. And I was thinking, there is no need to yell. I am just here. Actually, we were on the phone, but he was raising his voice, and so this is what happens in anger. We understand from so many other descriptions in the Bhagavatam. The eyes go red like copper. And the hair can stand up, and all sorts of things can happen, but you lose your intelligence. This is what happens when we become angry. Our intelligence is shut down. So therefore we may pick something up and we may throw it at the person, or whatever it might do, and we might try and even hit that person. So that when we are overcome with anger, our intelligence is gone. So therefore we have to be very wary of this anger that is within all of us. We cannot deny it. It is there. It's just whether it's easily stirred up or whether it is being controlled and subdued like that. So it's something that we should avoid, like this coronavirus. We're trying to avoid the plague and the corona, so we should also be trying to avoid anger. If we see it, we should try and avoid it. We should not approach anger. If somebody is in a mad or angry mood, we should try and avoid that person so there is no conflict like that. So we are very lucky that I'm just looking at the purport here. We're hearing of the three modes and how the three devas are overseeing those three modes. But above that, we have the spiritual master overseeing us also. He has taken us under his shelter. So he is also watching. So we understand the Paramatma is there present within our heart and is witnessing all our activities. So we are constantly praying to the spiritual master, who is the external representative of the internal aspect of the Paramatma. So whether he is personally still on the planet or not, we are getting the guidance from the Paramatma within our heart to assist us. As long as we are in the right prayerful mood and we have that humility, then we will be guided from within the heart. That's whether we're willing to listen or not, that's another thing, but there will be always the guidance coming from within. And we can take that guidance. Sometimes, we may be in the mode of ignorance or the mode of passion, and we are not taking that guidance as seriously as we should. But still, therefore, we can learn our lessons and just basically stay in the association of devotees, take Krishna Prasadam, and control the tongue. If we can control our tongue and not use it in an angry way, then we are doing a great service to ourselves and a great service to others. Because when we become angry, we are really only hurting ourselves. You may be inconveniencing the other person, that they have to hear what you are saying, but when you become angry, really you're only really hurting yourself, because you are saying things which may not be true, or you are saying them in an angry way, and therefore when you have finished your anger and your anger subsides, still you have that remembrance of what you have just done, and you are lamenting, oh, why did I do this? Or and the lamentation is there and the pain is there. So when we become angry, we are really only hurting ourselves. So we should also try and remember that also, and basically just give it up. Give up the anger. Just give up the anger, and it'll help you with your false ego, also your ahankara. Give it up, because